This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 48, How Empathy Takes Pressure Off Selling. Are you a real estate agent with an entrepreneurial spirit who wants to turn your job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan to help you get there? Well, then, hey, you're definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. And to help you take immediate action to build a better real estate agent business, I've created a free jumpstart course for you over at freeagentgift.com. Now get over there. I don't care if you're a rookie or a veteran. It's a great wireframe to give yourself a check. Make sure you're running a business and not pursuing a job. In this episode, what I want to cover is how empathy takes that pressure off of selling. The first point is, what is empathy? What are we talking about? Isn't that thing that you feel bad for somebody? Is that sympathy or is it empathy? What is it? Well, the way I understand empathy is a little bit more deeply than sympathy. Empathy is that I can actually feel what you feel. Now, it's very easy if we share a similar experience, but what if you don't share a similar experience and you still need to be empathetic? You need to have that feeling for somebody else, especially in the context of business. And in our business, the real estate agency business, we're dealing with these home buyers and sellers who really are emotional about this. And especially if they're moving for a reason that causes a lot of pain. You have a lot of divorcees out there. You have a lot of people where somebody's passed on. People are scared. They need the money for retirement. Man, that's a lot of emotion. So to be empathetic with those people, to feel for them, feel with them, I think that's really important. So understanding that empathy is all about feeling what they feel. That brings us to the next point is, well, where does that have any place in our business? How does empathy change your positioning? So this week on our sales training call, it really seemed to bubble itself up. And you could see a lot of people were struggling with this scripting and, is it free form and a natural conversation, or is it something that I'm supposed to memorize? And I'm not out there to pick a fight with all these other coaching programs that tell you, say you have to memorize this and say it like this and use NLP techniques. See, I think that's all good skill set stuff. And I think to remember why you're on the phone, that you're trying to create a relationship. We like to refer to those as prospects, where there's an opportunity to continue to help them down the line. Sure, I think it's important, but why not start from a position of empathy? I mean, I hear so many people come to me and I'm the gazillionth person that called this person. And why am I doing this at all? They're just going to hang up on me. Well, when you take a position of empathy, it becomes easier for you as well. I'm not saying it makes you soft and you forget what you're trying to do in a business context, but it just makes it easier. If you're trying to remember this script and you get all worked up and all of a sudden those people punch you right in the nose when you're first starting and your eyes are watering and your head is pounding and you get all nervous, click. So what good was that anyway? Is that really how we have to do business under that kind of pressure? I don't think so. So why don't we just go and have that empathetic beat? It's like a boom. Before I make this phone call, I'm going to feel for this person. For example, if they're expired, I'm going to feel the struggle that they went through to try to get this done and it didn't get done. And I'm assuming that they're pretty darn frustrated right now. So maybe I ought to have empathy for that frustration when I pick it up or pick up the phone. Okay. Really thinking about what went wrong. Or maybe they just took it off. Maybe the circumstances changed. Maybe now I am the fifth person calling and they have no intention to sell right now. Be empathetic about all the phone calls that they're getting. Apologize authentically if that's the case, whatever it might be. You don't have a crystal ball. You can't read somebody's mind, so you don't know what's going to happen. But as long as you arrive at that phone call with empathy, think about for sale by owners, for example. A lot of people, when they pick up the phone to call for sale by owners, it's almost like this confrontational feeling. We always feel like it's a fight. Why? Because the for sale by owner is, they don't want to use a realtor. And so we're going to tell them why they're wrong and we're right. Why? Why not just have empathy? Maybe they think they need every last drop of profit, and this is the way that they get it. There's nothing wrong with thinking about that. That's their perception of the way the business works. If you don't agree with that, then take a beat, be empathetic, and help them. See, think about this on a FISBO. What if you picked up the phone and you said, hey, I saw that you were trying to sell your house by yourself, and I thought what would be helpful if I sent you out a picture of 4 or 5 of the comps that sold around you. They're pretty good. There's details. You might be able to get it online too, but this is right out of the MLS. I thought it'd be helpful. And a lot of FSBOs don't understand that they probably should be following a formula like we do. So I sent you my 7-step guide too. I thought it would be helpful. Huh? Right? How easy is that? To be able to be empathetic that this person is trying to do it the hard way and give them something, which leads to the next point very logically. And I talked about it in episode number 47. Go back and listen to this. Empathetic caring lines up with the give, ask formula. Now, I know a lot of you rail against that. And you say, well, I'm supposed to be asking right from the start. I'm supposed to be pushing. And that's what I was taught. Great. Good luck. It's great. I've done it too. I started my career by being very transactional and always trying to ask. And I helped a lot of people and it worked, but it's tiring. And it's also very difficult to teach. Why? Because you get very muscular and savvy and quick on your feet and you have to be there always handling objections where all of a sudden I just thought, why am I doing it like this? Why don't I just start with empathy? Why not give them what I know they really want and then a bunch of what they need and not expect anything in return? What? I know, right? How do you make any money not expecting to get that client? Because the power of all of this empathy as a base and then giving information, inside information from the MLS about what's sold around them, how that affects their property value. Same thing on the buy side, by the way, too. Don't think that this doesn't work perfectly well there. Everybody's out running around with their application and they're on every one of these major sites. And you think that they don't need more insightful information from there, that somehow miraculously that's going to replace all us real estate agents? Slow them down and say, hey, looks like you're doing it the hard way. Why don't I set you up a portal directly into MLS? You can keep using all those online apps if you want, but let me just give you a doorway in. What's wrong with that? So, and again, from a position of empathy, you know it's impossible to run around with an application. This open house, that open house. You know what it's like. Because as a realtor, you might have even done it yourself. It's exhausting. Empathize with them. You know. Don't fight them. Say, oh, well, that application doesn't have all the right information and it could be the wrong stuff. That's confrontational. That's not empathetic. So that give, ask formula as supported with some empathy is really effective. And that leads to my last point. You have to trust that this empathetic give, ask formula is indeed a really valid business model. And I'm sitting here not as a theorist, not just making this up as I go along. I do this. Still to this day, as I'm recording this podcast, I will sell close this year to a home a week on top of one-on-one coaching, nearly that many people, 2 full days a week, just doing that, doing all these podcasts. And how in the world am I able to do all that? With a systematic approach that is always and constantly giving and building multiple relationships all at once by just focusing on what they need. Because I'm so empathetic, my staff is empathetic, our agents are empathetic to what people need, and we're genuinely trying to help them. And it fills up our pipeline just as well as any lead generation platform could. I'm not saying that we don't use those to find new relationships, but it's what we do no matter whether it's referred business or somebody we meet online or somebody we meet at an open house. We are empathetic that they are out there and we're there to meet them and help them. Okay? It's a valid business model. So again, how empathy takes pressure off selling is how you can do it is start by understanding empathy is feeling for other people. That changes your position so that it's much easier to give and ask because you're feeling their pain for them, not just guessing at what it is. And then of course, trusting that this is a valid business model, right? So let me summarize this key point. When you start from a position of empathy, you truly feel the pain or the challenge that the buyers and sellers feel. And then you're in a better positioned spot to be tuned into their needs and not your own. I know it's a me, I got to get paid thing. I get it. But if you really tune into them, you'll make plenty of GCI. Okay. And a lot of happy people too. All right. Hey, listen, remember, you can take immediate action and get started in the right direction or a better direction if you're already a veteran with our free video course over at freeagentgift.com. freeagentgift.com. It's on demand. It's a good wireframe. It just gets you questioning yourself and what direction you're headed in. We also broadcast and we give it away our live sales training from the TRC, training real agents in our coaching program on Facebook every Friday at 1 o'clock ET. So remember to like our page so you won't miss the notifications, or just turn on the little notification button I think Facebook gives you now. If you're out there, subscribe to the channel as well. Hey, if you like what you learned here, then we'd appreciate it if you would share these insights with other entrepreneurial real estate agents just like you, so they can join us right here. Give this information, and I'd appreciate it. Sure, they would too. So don't forget to subscribe or follow us on whichever platform you're listening so that you don't miss out on any insights we offer. And thanks for listening. Of course, I'm always humbled to be here to serve you. Thanks.